Good morning, everybody. Sorry we're running behind this morning. Welcome to our TMC Mama Chat. My name is Jordan. I'm the perinatal nurse navigator here at Tucson Medical Center, and I'm so happy you're here today to join with us to talk about our topic this morning, which is perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. And I have with me Pearl. Pearl, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started with our discussion today.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Jordan. So I myself struggled with postpartum depression about 16 years ago with my son. And I sought out professional help, which really failed me terribly. So in seeing the need in the medical field to work with mothers that are postpartum mood and anxiety disorders, I decided to get my master's in community counseling so that I could work with mothers who are suffering from perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. So I've been pretty much working as a support group facilitator since graduation of about 9 years now. I was also Tucson Postpartum Depression Coalition president, and I currently am Postpartum Support International member. I help facilitate the International Spanish Postpartum Support Group. I also work for Healthy Families at Child and Family Resources, where I work with mothers who are also suffering from postpartum depression.
Great, thank you.
We've got TMC, sorry.
Yes. So, Pearl, we're going to talk today about perinatal mood and anxiety disorders, which is a new title for postpartum depression that's being used because it encompasses more accurately of when these mood disorders or anxiety disorders can be experienced by moms and dads, all the way from pregnancy through the postpartum period. So can you explain to us how the signs of these disorders is different than, the typical baby blues when you first get home and you have the rush of hormones and emotions, how these signs differ from just the typical baby blues?
So the baby blues lasts about 2 to 3 weeks. And what you'll see with the baby blues is a weepiness, very sad feeling. And this usually goes away about 80% of mothers who suffer from baby blues will have no need for medical assistance to get out of that phase. After the 2 to 3 weeks, that's when perinatal mood and anxiety disorders might take into play. And that usually what signs are there, what encompasses that is a lot of anxiety. It could be depression, it could be irritability, anger. So we call it perinatal mood and anxiety disorders because it's not necessarily that you're going to see a mother with depression. And everyone's depression is very different. You might not see a mother who's crying, but seems depressed or is feeling depressed. So we really wanted to make sure that mental health professionals understand the term perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. And the American Psychiatric Association defines it as peripartum depression because mothers can get this disorder during pregnancy, and usually if they get it during pregnancy, it is usually something that follows through after childbirth.
And during pregnancy, like obviously after baby's born, it can kind of be evident if mom's not bonding with baby or mom seems withdrawn from family or from baby. And then in pregnancy, can you explain how we might see what that might look like in pregnancy?
So mom during pregnancy might not feel connected to her pregnancy. She might feel like she wants to withdraw from everyone else. She might not really want to touch her belly, not sharing her trimesters are coming along. She might not feel connected to the baby in womb. So that could be a sign that mom's feeling depressed, and it might be something that she wants to consider looking into and getting support.
So if you're, your personality before you get pregnant or before have baby is somebody who is typically anxious or, maybe introverted, how do you know that it's not just, that's how you're going to be now that you've had baby? How do you know that it's something you need to seek out help for?
That's a really good question. And I do get some moms that fall within that type of personality. So you'll really feel different. You'll feel withdrawn. You'll feel like you are not enjoying the same things that you used to enjoy. And you're the people who are going to be able to identify more are your support system. So the people that are already around you and who notice what's going on are most likely the ones that are going to be able to help you identify that something's going on in your life that you might not even know you're feeling. I know when I had postpartum depression, I didn't know I was depressed. My best friend told me, Pearl, you seem really depressed. And I had no idea just because I was a single mom and I was going through the motions, just trying to get my work, trying to take care of my baby. I had no idea, but I knew I did not feel happy. And when she
Yeah.
mentioned that, I realized, oh, something must be wrong.
Yeah. Having a baby is a time with a lot of change for everybody, whether or not you're dealing with these disorders. So it can kind of be a time of figuring out like what's normal. I'm not really getting much sleep. I'm tired. I am irritable because there's a lot going on and I'm taking care of this new baby. But like you said, it's yourself best, and the people around you in your support system are going to recognize like, something seems off. Something doesn't seem quite right on top of just having a baby. And so making sure that if you are the support person around a new mom or an expecting mother, that that you're providing the opportunity for her to talk and to support her and to reach out to get help. So there's a lot of reasons why moms, and you said, and dads can experience this too, don't reach out to get help. How can we kind of combat some of those reasons, why they wouldn't want to reach out, whether it be, they might feel like they're going to be viewed as not a good mom or not a good dad because they're dealing with not being able to handle their anxiety or needing extra help. How can we speak to those misconceptions or things that um, might be hard to reach out for help with?
Yeah, so something that can really help is trying not to pay attention too much to the social media that's out there. If you're already feeling depressed, taking care of your mental health requires the same type of work that it would take someone who is taking care of their diabetes or cancer treatment. You need to make sure that everything in your world at that time is being utilized for your benefit. So if you're on social media and you're seeing friends that are looking like they look perfect and they're not talking about depression or anxiety, it might be a good time to shut that off, to not be a part of that. To also make sure that you're talking to your support system, talking to the people that you have in your world right now to identify how they're going to support you, because you'll find out if these people are going to be supportive and non-judgmental. Sometimes you realize they're not the right people anymore, and that can be really sad and hard, but that is good information to help you find who is the right group, who is going to be a support for me in a non-judgmental, shaming way. So, like you said, one in 10 dads will actually suffer from postpartum depression, and 1 in 7 moms. So, if a family is suffering together, it's really important for them to be able to identify what the support system looks like, what they need to take out. A lot of the commercials on TV show these beautiful moms, these happy dads, these beautiful babies, and it's so not true. And so, if we could really get away from that, and I wish social media and media in general would put more realistic information, like a mom who is crying or a baby who has a diaper rash, these things would be so helpful because it makes it really hard for families to believe that they're accepted with what they consider their faults. And it's not really a fault. It is actually what parenting is. We have babies
Mhm.
with diaper rashes. We have babies that don't latch. We have babies that are really difficult, and sometimes we don't want to hold them. And that's okay. That kind of stuff is really important to be able to admit and share with other moms, because one feels great shame in feeling those feelings. And a lot of moms feel this. A lot of them feel it and they don't want to talk about it. And dads. So finding the
Yeah.
support system and understanding you're not alone. 1 in 7 women will suffer from it, and 1 in 10 dads will suffer from it.
So we're going to talk a little bit about like finding a support group and how important that is. But, the first step is, talking with a friend, talking with a partner, a spouse, your mom, your sister, whoever that person is that you trust, and then reaching out to your OB or your midwife or the pediatrician if you're at home with baby, and making sure, you might not need medications or something to help with that. Can you tell us a little bit about how that would work?
Yes. So you'll talk to these professionals because they can screen you. They do what's called an Edinburgh, and not all offices do, but some offices will. And in that screening, you'll find out what your level, what your screening is, and then they can refer you to where you might need some support. And a lot of these offices provide support in brochure style, or they just do refer you to the group that they might have, like here at TMC. Any doctor that works here will refer you to the group that we have. And I've actually had doctors at TMC walk some of our moms before the pandemic to our group to make sure that they find where they're supposed to be, because TMC has such great staff and they really care about their families. So finding a support system, being able to talk to your provider, making sure that you're honest and letting them know that you're feeling down, you're feeling like you need a little more support and you want to reach out, but you don't know where. That would be a great start. And knowing the ones that are missed, and I'm hoping in sharing that the moms who are listening don't feel shame of their own struggles, because it is common, and you can get better as long as you offer support. It's the hardest thing for a mom to suffer through without support, and suffering in silence is so hard and so unfair because you're alone in doing that. So if you reach out, there is a support system. There are people that want to help you. I know I got better because I went to a support group. St. Joe's had a support group at the time, which is coming back, I hear. And that group helped me so much. I was able to connect with the moms. I was able to find out about the different things that were going on in their lives and how medication worked for them. I chose medication for my recovery path, but not every mom will choose that, and that's okay. You pick what's the best key source of treatment for you. And I would suggest talking to your OB first of all can be really, really helpful, and letting them know if you're breastfeeding. Just because some moms who do want will be able to get a type of medication that is helpful and accessible, or safe while nursing.
Yeah. So that's a good place to start, is talk with your OB, your midwife, a pediatrician, just to reach out for some help. And then we touched a little bit on this, but we have here at TMC our Desert Bloom Moms PPD support group. Here's the phone number, and this will get you connected with Pearl. And tell us a little bit about how the support group works. How do they get in contact? Obviously they call this number to get in contact with you, but tell us where we meet, when we meet, and what it looks like when I get there if I'm a mom.
So it's really great. We're meeting in person and on Google Meets right now. So simultaneously, we're doing both so that moms feel a support and know that someone's there. So currently, I'm able to accept 8 moms in the room that we use, which is called the fireplace room. This room is located off campus somewhat, I would say. It's in the hospital. It's off of the hospital. It's the building with the flagpole. It's a really pretty building. And what we used to do in the past is, like, sometimes if a mom needed a break from hearing some of the hard stuff, she could take a walk in the courtyard, which is a really lovely courtyard that we have at the fireplace room. And so you would reach out to me, or you could email me at postpartumfacilitator1@gmail.com. That's also in our brochures. And I will get back with you. I'll give you the link. I do request that mothers who are joining on Google Meet be the only one on screen, to make sure that no other adult is in the room for the confidentiality of our mothers, and to please have your screen on, just because we want to identify and that you're a person to be in our group. I really want to take care of everyone's confidentiality and protect them from anybody who's not supposed to be in the group. So having screens on, being the only adult in the room. I understand if you have little ones that are in the room under 3, that's okay. We have some moms who have more than one child and their kids are sometimes in the room, but that's understandable. And if you come to our facility, please let me know. Email me ahead of time so that I can make sure the head count is correct and we don't have more than 8. You will need to wear your mask, and the room is big enough so that we're socially distant, and we have a great little area where there's a changing table. If you don't have a mask, we can provide you with a mask, and you just feel comfortable in the room. You don't have to share if you don't want to share. If you want to be there just to have socialization and to hear what other moms are saying, that's fine. You say anything. Sometimes it's just helpful enough to be in the same room with other moms who are suffering from the same.
Yeah, and just have the transparency if you're willing to open up and have the transparency and just feel like somebody else understands what you're going through, even if it's not the same journey that you're both experiencing. Just to have somebody who gets you and understands what you're going through is nice to have. Was there anything else you wanted to share,
Yeah.
Pearl, before we close?
I just wanted to really reiterate the fact that I hope mothers that are feeling any type of this disorder don't feel shame, and to find the right people that you need in your life to help you. Your support system is so important. Something that I did, I joined family support program. There's like healthy families. Those programs are just so great because they come in assessments on your babies, and then they going on with you. And if you need support, I just felt really lonely. I was a single mom, so I needed someone else to be there that wasn't judgmental. Culturally, it was like not acceptable that I was. It made it seem to me like I couldn't share this with anybody because of my culture. But when I had that program coming in, it made me feel supported, and it feels so much lighter. The weight on your shoulders is so lighter when you can finally open up to a group that you feel safe with and share what you're feeling and talk about what you're feeling, because you're not struggling alone, and you feel the companionship in the room, the Google Zoom, when you're talking to the other moms, because you understand I don't feel alone. And I know it's hard to accept that other moms are also suffering from this. I think it's to know that there is women, 1 in 7, who go through this. You can get better as long as you reach out for support and you don't suffer in silence.
Thank you, Pearl. And one last thing before we go, what should a mom do if she needs help immediately? If it's turned into an emergency situation and mom needs help, um, where should mom call or reach out to get the help that she needs if it's immediate?
So I would suggest calling uh, the crisis line. We have a crisis line, and, reaching out to possibly your OB. If all else fails, going to the emergency room if you need to, be evaluated immediately. That would be the next best thing. Um, Finding support is struck to that extent. It's just beneficial to you and your health and your family's health to reach out for support and make sure that something is going to change for you so that you can get better.
Great. Thank you, Pearl, for your time today and for sharing your passion with us. I appreciate you joining us. Okay, everybody, to close this week out, I just want to say thank you for joining us. And next week, we are going to be having 2 of our certified lactation nurses come on and tell us about breastfeeding and what you should know as you're preparing to have your baby, or if you've recently had a baby and you have questions, you need to get connected with some support. We hope you'll join us then. Thank you.